أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على سيدنا محمد المصطفى وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. فقد قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: سيد القوم في السفر خادمهم أكت والسلام. Have duties in our lives. Students studying to career in our job, or we are working for our family, or we have that we are raising and disciplining. Something that we don't really emphasize. We might even look down upon it, even underestimate it. But that, in reality, my brothers and sisters, that is khidmat of deen, community service. We see that things that occurred in the Madani era. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, after migrating from Makkah to al-Munawwara, we see a very, very big difference in how the authority, on how the law, on how everything put under his amr, his command. A flourishing group of men and women, people together who have become known as, in history, one of the best eras of history, where the Prophet ﷺ brought brotherhood between Sahaba. Any Sahaba from Makkah al-Mukarramah to Medina al-Munawwara, he brought brotherhood between them. How he taught Sahaba on how to discipline your kids. And he taught and showed us to seek knowledge and to learn, and how that could be a success life. Yes, again, in our lives, but we don't realize that if we focus on our community, we focus on our masjid, serve that community, we help them out, we become staff members, and we have this sense that I know I'm doing my duty, I know I need to make money, but wallahi, through these service, through these means of helping your masajid, not just financially, but all there. Whatever they need, the masjid needs to be cleaned. A group of people get together. Outside, they want to do something. Brothers get together, sisters get together. This together creates a network, a bond, opportunities that are part of our duties that we try to do, providing for our kids, whether it's a student in a school, children, and disciplining them. It will help towards our main duties of our life. So I'm mentioning the Madani era as an example, off with the story of Abdurrahman bin Auf radiyallahu anhu, where he was not from a background that was, but he was very intelligent. And he was in Makkah al-Mukarramah, traveling to Medina al-Munawwara. Medina al-Munawwara, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as the leader, to create service between one another. Brought Sa'd ibn Rabi', another Sahabi, Qari Sahabi that lived in Medina al-Munawwara, who was well off, had multiple spouses, who had everything, mashallah, in his time. He made brotherhood between Auf, who came from Makkah al-Mukarram, and he had nothing. And Ibn Rabi', mashallah, in the hadith we see that he started offerings. He started saying, I'll give you half my wealth, I'll give you a spouse, give you that. That is the brotherhood the Prophet ﷺ created between the Sahaba. What we saw was Abdurrahman bin Auf denied the offers. How independent Abdurrahman bin Auf was. That shows how much courage he had. And imagine if someone offered $1 million to us, how can we reject it? We'll take it on the spot. We come to America for the first time and someone from our family tells us, or someone that lives here and has a stable job, $1 to start off your life. That would be, why not? Well, all of us would accept, I doubt. But Abdurrahman bin Auf did not have this mindset. Any sort of debt from anyone. He did not want to take anything from anyone. Became someone successful. What do? Marketplace. Right? Place of Qaynuqa. And he started trading. As he started trading, it's a nice article that we've written, inshallah, details. Whoever wants to become a business entrepreneur, you'll see how Abdurrahman, all the steps are there in it on how he became a millionaire. Abdurrahman bin Auf, someone who had nothing, went from the most top. And he became very, very rich, Abdurrahman bin Auf. One thing to another thing to another, and he started trading goats, and now he's starting trading and camels, and now it's a market. He saw what was the demand in the market right away. He started to sell, buy, trade. MashaAllah, he became a multi-millionaire. But Abdurrahman bin Auf had a vision. It wasn't just, all right, I'm going to become very, very rich and that's it, it ends there. There's nothing wrong about going. At times we hear bayans, oh, don't go after the dunya. It's a misconception, they say. Go after it, get whatever wealth you but have a vision for your akhirah. Don't make the dunya your ghard, your ghaya, your goal, this means of your akhirah. That how can I use this finance, how can I use this intelligence for my akhirah? If it's great, you're getting all reward for your akhirah. Why not? So Abdurrahman bin Auf had this mentality. When ghazawat or expeditions of Islam came through, what did he do? Right away, facilitated it. He started giving horses out. That was his service. When any of the Sahaba of Badr, he started giving them gold coins. For all those. So he had a vision on what he was trying to do while he was training because of that. So I used him as the examples of the Madani era. Look what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told Abdurrahman bin Auf when he came to Medina al-Munawwara, that your help and service is there with you. Networking and connection is there with you to help you. But Abdurrahman bin Auf went and said, I don't need the help to help. He had that mentality. And he went and he made money and he came, I be a service now to you, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. That was the mentality that Abdurrahman bin Auf radiallahu anhu had. Learned this from the best leader, Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He learned this from him. He became a service for his ummah. He became a city. And instead, he started opening up opportunities for intelligence because of his open-hearted, because of his vision Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is teaching them. Example. See, we talk about providing, and the Rahman bin Auf did, and that's how Allah provided for him. The same exact mentality, and Allah will provide for us as well, inshallah. But that's through having that mind, service and community to my service and time to my community for free, and Allah will give me these opportunities. Zubair wasn't there saying, yeah, you have to do this with me, you have to do this, I'm going to give you this. No, he just said, for the sake of Allah. He had his trust, and look what Allah gave him in return. About how raising your kid effective thing because of the service and community you have around you. One community, a proper masjid, a proper place like this, mashallah, and you environment, you sit them around this environment, you show them what it is like to act to one another, to talk to one another, to say salam to one another. These are the environments raise up, and to bring them to it, they will be those disciplined people when they grow up. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, was the most companion to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Life of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, how he provided biyat, proper upbringing of his own child, his own daughter, Aisha radiallahu anha, who is one of the leaders of the Ummahatul Mu'mineen. Top leaders who narrated many ahadith regarding the personal life of the Prophet. In those cases, in those scenarios, there was a situation where I just showed some discipline to her. When her necklace was lost in the desert, and the whole and they would have to look around to find her necklace, and the Prophet was sleeping, and Abu Bakr went to her saying that, what are you causing? Even after she was married, the Prophet Abu Bakr continued to show that, listen, do not displease the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What a father is to his daughter, to teach them to always be obedient, to well to your husband. And that's what Abu Bakr was disciplining. Obviously, Aisha has a proper disclaimer that she had all of it. But as a father, you remind your daughter. And through this, he disciplined her. I mean that he only disciplined her while she was married. He's disciplined her as a young girl. Why? Through that discipline, Aisha is who she is. We're in that environment because they were in that community, because that's what the step, how to discipline a kid like that. And this is what Aisha offered to all of us, the personal life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you were to ask any of the Sahaba, they knew about him, but Aisha radiallahu anha would tell you the private stories and discussions that she had with the beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or fiqh matters that she has solved for us. That's what the service she gave to all of us till today. Exact way your kids growing up in environments like this, having this type of community, gathering together, they will have a future for themselves in that way. For themselves. They will see how their kids or help or give or benefit. Right? Bright comes out from this masjid. All of us, all the whole community is looking at him with so much like, wow, subhanAllah, we have brought such a beautiful start to this masjid. And it's in any way possible to our masjid. It's a great feeling. The last example that I want to give, I gave the Abdul Rahman bin Auf radiallahu anhu. I gave the example of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu with Aisha. The last example is of seeking knowledge. Right? Because the beauty is that most of us are involved in either money to provide, either to raise our kids, or students that we're still studying. And the example is of Anhu, where he would say that people were in the marketplaces and making money and stuff amongst Ahl Sufa in Madinah al-Munawwara. And he was sitting knowledge. How was he? Who provided him with that knowledge? Obviously, the Prophet ﷺ gave him knowledge, but to survive, who's financing them? Obviously, the Sahaba were financing them. Allah was financing them. In a case where Abu Hurairah was, that he approached Abu Bakr anhu for a tafsir of an ayah. I want to show that he's hungry and that Abu Bakr may have realized that he's hungry. Abu Bakr gave him the tafsir and walked away. Umar anhu, he approached Abu Hurairah anhu. Same exact thing. He gave him the tafsir ayah and walked away. When he saw the Prophet ﷺ walking, guess what happened? Abu approached him. The Prophet ﷺ grabbed him and said, let's go, I'm going to get you food. Right away, subhanAllah, on the spot that Abu Hurairah was hungry and he wanted food for himself. Intelligence, this was the intelligence the Prophet ﷺ had right on the spot that he is hungry. And he provided him and helped him right away. Point being is that there are students out there too that are studying, whatever the case. And you can be a great means of providing, be a great help of giving. What did he provide and serve for our ummah? He is known to be among narrated many ahadith. Mukthirin al-Sahaba mentioned so many ahadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that all of us is named by hearing it. Abu Hurairah, yes, I've heard this hadith. Again, another hadith comes, he narrates. But this is what they had to do. They had to invest. They had to give service. And through that service, these duties were fulfilled. So my message, my brothers and sisters, today is, it's not the message that Masjid told me to take my own side. Because I have my own community. I have my own masajid. I'm currently involved in. And one thing I see there is a lack in, and that's why to every single community, as I go to give khutbah in different masajid, I see there's a service and community effort. Where there's not staff to give their free time to give towards their community, to serve, give whatever they can. And wallahi, I'm telling you this, you give, Allah will give you. You're constantly thinking about my dues. Allah will take care of those matters if you take care of the matters of Allah. These are the matters of Allah. Coming to the masajid, help taking care of the masajid of your community. In any way possible you can help. There's so much details on it. You know yourself. And if you have that mentality, I've seen it myself. Right away, and someone says, you have an amazing talent, and I see you have good service. We want to put, you want this, you want this. So many doors open up of khair. Stuck in a situation with your duties, and you remember someone in the community that helped you out. Bring them to your house. I need help. Can you come? They say, yes, I can come. But you didn't connect with them, come just for Jum'ah. What are you going to expect? Now you're sitting there confused. I can't. And if you come to the masjid, you're like, okay, we don't know you like that because you haven't been. So we must open to this idea. Anyway, come to the admin of the masjid. Whatever we can do, we should try our best in any way possible. Create that sort of connection. Obviously under the masjid, obviously under the whoever here, through their guidance, obviously, inshallah ta'ala. And we'll see things will play a role in our lives and how it will change and network and inshallah will provide for us in any way possible in all of our duties, inshallah ta'ala. So we want to make a Madani era, we got to start off here, right? Just like I'm made what Medina was Medina, that is our, and we must follow that model to find success in anywhere we are, inshallah ta'ala. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله فقد قال الله تعالى في القرآن الكريم: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. إن الله وملائكته على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد بعد ما صلى وصام. اللهم وعلى آل محمد بعد ما قاد وقام. وصل على جميع الأنبياء والمرسلين والصحابة والتابعين وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. عباد الله إن الله يأمركم بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى والنهي والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. فاذكركم واشكروني ولا تكفرون. قيموا الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. أشهد أن الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
استووا واعتدلوا واستقيموا وتراصوا سد الخلل. يزبر الشغل أكيد من يابس. الله أكبر. الحمد لله العالمين الرحيم يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. إن للمتقين حدائق وأعنى وكواعب أترابا دهاقا يدعون فيها لغوا وعذابا جزاء من ربك عطاء رب السماء